Coaches, I'm going to introduce you to our next speaker. Is Coach Peter Furey from stateside. He's a D-line guy. I met him for the first time a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and he has that defensive smile for you offensive coaches that understand what that means. And I think he's a guy full of energy, and I'm looking forward to listening to him. I'll let him introduce himself. Coach Furey, welcome. He'll introduce himself, give you a little bit of background on what he's about, and then he'll go into his presentation. Coach, when you're ready, let me know, and I will make you the host. In the meantime, I'll just let a few people in.
So how's it going, everyone? I'm excited to be here. First off, I want to thank the guys that share the knowledge. I think what you guys are doing is groundbreaking. It's awesome. Anything to make football more as the best sport in the world, not even just the United States, but we're looking in the world now. Never thought I would have gotten an opportunity to talk to guys around the world about football. So this is really cool. Special thanks for me to Coach Nick Fitzgerald. He's from my area, and he reached out to me thinking that I had what it took, and I hope I have what it takes for you guys today. Like Coach said, I'm going to talk some defensive line in particular today. I will include some other things about what we do as a defense. But defensive line for me is something that is crucial to being successful in a defense, right? It's the trunk of your tree, right? It's the roots. It's the roots in the trunk. If you don't have a solid defensive line, anything that happens behind it, it's going to fall apart. I think it all starts with those defensive linemen. And we tell our guys that constantly. Sometimes I have kids come to me that are defensive linemen, and they'll say, Coach, I feel like sometimes I'm just a roadblock, for the guys behind me to make plays. And one of the things that I do want to emphasize is making sure that your defensive linemen know that they're in there to make plays. They're not there to cause havoc in the front and let the linebackers run free and let the defensive backs make all those plays. Make it an emphasis to tell those D linemen that you're in there to make plays. I know you guys get caught in the mess a lot, but you are there to make plays. And in the last few years that we've kind of emphasized that to our guys, they really took hold of it, and we saw some huge changes in their playmaking abilities and their ability to just get to the ball instead of just, take on the block and kind of say, all right, the guys behind me will take care of it. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. I'm going to share my screen right now.
Coach, I just made you the host.
Cool. Thank you.
There you go.
All right. Let's just make sure. All right. So you got my screen?
It's blank at the moment, Coach. Yeah, got it now.
How are we looking now? You got the PowerPoint?
Yep, yes. That's it.
All right, cool. Let me get back to it. All right. So a little bit about me. I want to keep this page very quick, very brief. This is not at all about me, but hopefully, you guys are kind of sitting there like, who am I listening to, and I'll give you a little brief background. I coach right now at a school in upstate New York, Niskayuna High School. I'm the defensive coordinator and the strength and conditioning coach for our team. It's actually the high school that I went to back when I started, back when I was playing in high school. So it's pretty cool to be giving back. My father was actually the head coach when we moved to Niskayuna. He was the head football coach, head baseball coach. So football runs right in our family. Now the script has kind of flipped here, and as I become the defensive coordinator, he is now my linebackers coach. So we went from him telling me what to do, so now I get to tell him what to do. It's pretty cool. But he helps me a whole lot, and I've been raised football. My mom swears to this day my first word was football, and I'll just leave that at that. The last 2 years, with some changes that we've made with our defense, we've been 2-time Section 2 Class A champs, 2-time Class A regional champs. We made it to the state semifinals 2 years straight, which was school history. And a lot of that is not alluded to me as a coach, but it's what our players can produce for us on the defensive side of the football. I'm a phys ed guy. I went to SUNY Cortland in New York. I played football there. I was a defensive back. Stayed on the defensive side the whole way. And like I said, I don't want to keep this about me. So that's just a little brief background about me. So let's keep this thing moving. All right. Our defensive line philosophy at Niskayuna High School. We need to be physical, right? These guys can't be afraid of contact. We need them to be physical. We call these things right here, our hands are weapons. We emphasize that a whole lot. Tell these guys, these are your weapons. You can use these to create some havoc in there. All right. Not many other sports you can say, take a guy and put him on his butt. All right. So we want to be physical. We want to be strong. Like I said, I'm the strength and conditioning coach at our school. In the last 2 years that we've had such great success, I've got defensive linemen squatting over 500 pounds. I've got defensive linemen bench pressing over 315. I've got guys running sub 540s. We got guys that are quick. We got guys that are strong. We've got guys that put time in the off season to make sure that what they can do on the field translates from the weight room. And the last thing I'd like to say is we play with controlled chaos. It gets chaotic, like I said, on the line. But we got to be in control. We're not just in there to shoot through a gap and, sprint into the backfield. We play with our schemes. We're in control, but we do like to be a little chaotic. We want some chaos, but it's got to be in control. So the next thing I like to say is we make plays in the 3-yard box. And if you take a look at this little picture in the bottom right corner, the 3-yard box, it's really a smaller box than the picture shows, but the huddle app wouldn't let me make it any smaller. The 3-yard box is 1 yard in the backfield to 1 yard down the field. So say that they get 1 yard on every play, first down, second down, third down, fourth down. How many yards have they gotten? They got 4 yards. Is that a first down? No, we stop them, right? So we want to, if we get a stop 1 yard past line of scrimmage, we give up 1 yard. That's a win for us. Even 2 yards sometimes, that's a win for us. But our guys are taught to make those plays in that 3-yard box. We're not shooting into the backfield, all right, and we're not letting guys run by us. We're holding our ground in our gaps, and we're doing a great job making plays in that box. Tell our guys, trust your keys and reads, play with excellent technique, and you'll find yourself at the ball. We've had guys before who come off the ball, look in the backfield, they're looking, trying to find the ball. Not the way we do it. There's 3 steps to it, right? You come off the ball, you get your read, you play with your good technique, and the plays will come to you. You get the proper read, you defeat the block with the proper technique, and those plays are going to come to you. Trust your teammates. Do your job. Don't do someone else's job. Don't think just because something doesn't look right, the gap next to me is open, I got to take that gap. No, stick to your gap, stick to your job, trust the guy next to you, and do your job. And that's been a big thing for us. We guys will come off the field and say, but coach, that hole was open. I tried to take it. Well, the next time that hole looks like it's open and you try to take that hole, what's going to happen to yours, right? So trusting your teammates and doing your job. Be in the picture. One of my college coaches taught me this. When you watch the film and you pause it at the end of the play, right? You look at the screen and you say, how many heads can I see in this picture? And on our team, it sure well better be 11 heads in that picture. So we do that when we watch the film. If you're not in the picture, maybe a DB was too far, or we get that stuff. But for our defensive line, especially, be in the picture when the play is over. Get to the ball. 11 heads to the ball. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Let's talk some good stuff here. All right, so a little bit about what we do defensively. We call ourselves a 50 front. We mainly play a cover 4 behind it. Our defensive line positions are end, nose, and end. If you look at this picture right here, you see the WA, that's our warrior outside linebacker. And then on the right side, you see our Sam, who's lined up on the tight end right now. Those guys are usually playing on the line of scrimmage, so we do call it a 50. But as I go through this a little bit more, you'll see why I say 50 front, okay? So this is 50 angle. This is what we do. We are moving constantly. So every play, we're moving one way or the other. We're either slanting to the right or slanting to the left. We just have different words for it, like slant and angle. Slant, S, to the strong side. Angle, A, away from the strength. So right now you see angle. Our defensive linemen are moving away from the strength. And we're flipping the script on reactionary defense. I think what we do is different in the way that usually defenses have to come off the ball and they react. Yeah, do we react? Yeah, but we're making the offense react to what we do. If you look at this picture real quick, you see the center. He's right over the nose. That center doesn't know when they play against us. That center doesn't know where our guy is going. Is he going to the right? Is he going to the left? Is he coming head up on me? Right? In this instance, angle, he'd be going to the weak side. So here's slant, same idea. It's the same movement, except now we're going to the strength. S, slant, strength. And like I'm gonna keep saying this. We like to keep it simple for our guys. I don't care what level you're at. I've seen simplicity being the key for these guys. Less thinking, more ability to just go and play football, right? So here you go, slant. And now that you get to slant, so if we went, this is more of like what? Here's your 5-2, right? So you got this is your 50. The last one was probably more of a 4-3 because one of the outside linebackers is dropping. All right, now if you look at the Sam right here, we don't have an edge contain rusher. All right, so he's got to come. He's got to help us on the edge. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys coming. So that's more your 5-2 right there. Again, here you go. One more front, or second to last front here. This is what we call pinch strong. Okay, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on the line. Here's your 5-2. Here's your 50 front, right? Pinching to the strong side. Your nose and your end to the strong side are pinching. How freed up does this guy look, man? That's awesome right there. This guy is a dude. You put a dude there. You play this defense. My father told me years ago. They sat in this front for an entire season. This kid made about, I don't know what, 150 tackles or so. These guys caused a lot of mayhem, made some plays, right? It's a heck of a defense right there. All right. And then, so like I said, 50 front, right? Now here's more of like a 3-4. So here's flex. You've got your defensive ends attacking to the outside. Those are your edge contain rushers. Nose has a two-way go. He becomes a gap guy. So now he's attacking the center head up. So that center's seen, he's slanting this way. He's slanting that way. He's slanting this way. He's guessing. And then we run flex at him and he just blasts that center right into the backfield, right? So those are just our basic fronts right there. Like I said, that's what we do. We keep it simple. Those are our fronts right there. I'll get to some more, I'll get to some blitzes and some stunts in a little bit, but that's just kind of what we do as a defense right there. All right. What do our guys do? All right. What do we do? What are our techniques? What are some drills we do? First and foremost, our alignment that I talked about a little bit already, we are always nose on nose. So we're always in a head up technique. Okay. Our attack foot is slightly back, about toe to instep, right? So our attack foot is back a little bit, all right, but not too much, just so when they take that first attack step, their base can still be a powerful base without overstepping and becoming a weaker player, right? So we want that the toe to the instep, the attack side hand is down, better balance. Shins at 45 degrees. We want shins at 45 degrees. We want that good forward lean. We want to be in attack position. Our charge is a 12-inch step, right? We work this and it's calculated, very calculated. A 12-inch step to the attack side, followed by the reactive step, right? You react off what the offensive line is doing. Okay. Your chest stays over your thigh. You're staying low and your shoulders stay square as your hands violently go into the man that you're attacking towards. Shoulders staying square is such a big thing for us, especially right off the rip, right off the snap of the ball. Those shoulders stay square. We're not chasing. We're not turning our shoulders. We're not giving cutback lanes. And last thing, our eyes go to the helmet tag of the man, right? Whatever the helmet you use, whether it's Rydell or Schutt or whatever those the new ones are, our eyes go right to the helmet tag. Helmet tag goes this way, we know what's coming. Helmet tag goes this way, we know what's coming, right? We know what kind of block we're seeing. Are we seeing a reach? Are we seeing a down block? Eyes right to the helmet tag, staying low though. We don't want guys to raise up to see that tag. We want those guys to stay low with their chest out, all right? Chest over knees, knees bent, eyes to the helmet tag. All right. This one I'll come back to at the end if you guys don't mind that. These are just pretty much our reactions and the way we pursue different types of blocks. So each one kind of correlates to the next. Obviously the blue circles would be your offensive players. The clear circle would be your defensive player. And so you see what we do when we get a reach to us, what we do when we get to a reach to us with a double team. You're down away, down two. So at the end, if we got time, that's getting a little bit more into kind of the thick of it. But at the end, if we have time, I'll come back to that one. So let's get into some drills that we do. A first drill is a 2 versus 1, or it could be a 3 versus 1 reaction drill. Bags, or you got your pads on. This drill can be done at any time. You don't even need the bags. It's just pure reaction. Okay. So if we watch the guy on the left, he's going to get a down block from the right. The other guy is going to double and chip off to the backer type look. All right. And take a look. First and foremost, whenever you do a defensive line drill, you stop your player if he's not in the right stance. I'll tell you what, my receivers are the most lazy at this because they'll get in their lazy receiver stance and then they'll run a route and it's all sloppy no matter what, right? The goal is to get the drill done, but practice how you play, right? Make sure those guys are in a great stance to start. And if they're not, restart the drill, right? Emphasize it. Good stance, great stance. Then we start the drill. All right, so I'm going to play this kind of slow for you. So here's our nose guard. He squats over 500 pounds. Joe, he's a beast. All right, so he's in his good stance. Good first step, staying square. I would have liked if he had more separation right here. He's kind of getting his nose tucked in there. All right, but he feels that down block coming from the right side. That bag is turned pretty heavily. He feels that down block coming. And what we teach our guys, we started this about 2 years ago. We're teaching the spin, and it has changed the way our guys make plays. I tell you what, this spin is incredible if you can practice it and your guys can get it down and they can trust it. For a while, we said, no spinning. Why are we turning our backs to the ball? We watched the team do it almost every other play last year on film, and we said, this is something we need to be doing. All right. So pretty good. Good violent hands there. Like I said, I would like more separation. He throws that elbow, comes off the block tight. And notice right here how he's square. He flips his head around to find the ball, right? And that he's not penetrating, right? No penetration here. We're not trying to spin and then get to the backfield. We know that when we spin, that back is going to be coming to us. He's going to be coming towards the line of scrimmage. So we got to be square. We got to be good feet. Look at his feet. Good power position. He's low, knees bent, eyes are up. His right hand is ready to make a play. Left hand swiping off that pass block. And that's just a great job right there. So there's one example right there. We'll go to the next one on the right side, okay? Another one, great stance. Tack side foot is back. Let's take a look at this one. So here you go. Clearly, his eyes are up. His eyes are on his read. He sees reach, double reach block, right? Great separation, great power position, chest over knees, eyes up on his read, staying low, maintains separation, maintains gap integrity. And notice, he's not trying to get any penetration. He's not running to that wall. We do this drill with the wall behind it because we don't want the guys to run into the wall. It's obvious, right? We don't want guys penetrating. So put a wall behind it. Make it work for you, right? Good separation, staying square, defeating the block, and maintaining gap integrity. It's a great job, right? So here, let me get out of this. I'll show you some quick film. Let's take a look at this. Here we go. Put you into the real deal here. Let me just share my huddle. Okay, play one. Here we go. All right. So this one, you're going to look at, here's our nose right here. Here's the one that the first video we watched. He's going to come off the ball. He's going to have great separation. He's going to extend. He's going to shed the tap. He's going to shed the blocker and get off and make a play. Here we go. Have to watch it in a little bit slower for you. Okay. Here we go. Decent separation. Good separation there. Gets off the blocker. Gets in the backfield. Finishes and makes the play. He makes the play a little bit further back. I'm fine with it. You know, the kid was slow into the line. Joey saw an opportunity and he took it. Let's see. Let's go to play number 2. Okay, here we go. This one, here's a spin for you. Here's a different nose in here, different nose guard for you. Let me zoom in a little bit. A little bit of a smaller guy, less experience. And as we go, I'll tell you, he spins off this block, does a great job. He's just late in the spin. If he spun a second sooner, you're going to see what I'm talking about with this spin. Completely effective, very effective. Okay. He gets his read. He's getting into him, right? He feels the down block. There's the pressure right there. Right now, spin, 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 spin. He's a little bit late. You'll see. Now he spins. And he's just a second late. Look at that arm. It could have been his whole body right in front of that man. He wouldn't have seen him coming. He would have spun right off the block. Misses the tackle, but good technique. I would say, if anything, right, he's a little bit late, but I'd say good technique. The spin was tight, right? He stayed low. His arm was there and ready to make the play, but if he had just spun a little bit sooner, right, he's going to make that play. He's going to be right in that gap, and that guy's going to run right into him. Let's keep this moving. Okay. Let me just make sure. All right, let's get back to the PowerPoint real quick. Is everything going well so far with the technology?
I'm good, Coach.
Good, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, no, let's not do that. All right, here's our next drill. And these are drills, I'll tell you right now, these are drills that we do. Oh, shoot. Let me get back to that. Sorry about that. All right, these are drills that we do at least one time a week with our defensive linemen, at least one time a week. So you know, nothing against any other coach in the world. I know a lot of coaches like to mix it up and keep things interesting. We stick to what works. We stick to the stuff that's practical, the stuff that these guys are going to see in a game. Okay. So this one's called lag the hip. This is a drill we do at every position. Our defensive linemen, they like this drill because we get the running backs running around and it drives them nuts. They're a little bit quick for them, but so here we go. It's a pretty simple drill. You've got 4 cones set up, you know, 10, 15 yards apart to make a sideline. These 2 guys are set up 5 yards apart. The guy on top in the gray shirt, he's going to be running across and trying to kind of gain ground. The guy in the white shirt, he's actually standing on the line of gain. So we want this guy in the white shirt to attack and stay on this guy's back hip. We call it lag the hip because we want the defender in the white shirt to stay on this guy's back hip and make teams run east and west, right? Push him out to the sideline. As he goes, and if our defensive guy doesn't tag the offensive guy, but he pushes him out towards the sideline, that's a win to me. I won't tell our guys that because I want them to tag them and I want them to finish the drill. But it's a win if we're making a guy run east and west. So here we go. On my go. He's low, right? He's in a strong power position right now. His shoulders are staying square. I didn't like the first cross foot. He crossed his feet to start, didn't love it. But look, he's staying on the back hip. There's a great angle of it. He's staying on that back hip. If the running back were to cut back right now, right, where's he going to go? He's going to run right into our guy. That's the goal right there. So if we keep going, All he's going to do is tag his back hip. You can make it a tackling drill. You can actually tackle the guy however you want to do it. You can add a blocker. But to finish, we tag the back hip, and then we bring our hips through as if we're tackling. All right, this kid in the white shirt is a junior. He's played for us for 2 years. He's got about 150 tackles in 2 seasons, sophomore and junior year. This kid's a stud. He's a pretty good player. He does this stuff right. So there we go. Just tagging the back hip, finish through with the hips, right? And there you go. All right, we call it the banana route, right? It's a curved route. You're attacking forward, but you're bending it outwards and staying on that back hip. I got a kind of I wanted to add in one that we see quite often when we first start this drill. So if we go to the video on the right side, here you go. Good, powerful stance. Good start. He's starting on the back hip. This one, he gets a little bit too hoppy for me with his shuffle steps as opposed to the first one. His feet were staying closer to the ground. This guy kind of got a little bit hoppy with his steps. And when your feet aren't on the ground, you can't change direction, right? So the lower they are, it's not bad. But the lower they are, the better they are, right? So he's staying square, great stance. But right here, you see he lost his back hip. The center of my defender's body is now almost on the front hip or in the middle of his body, giving him that cutback lane, right? And that's what you don't want. You don't want cutback lanes. When he cuts back, we want our guy to be on that back hip so that guy's got nowhere to go. I like how he closed ground. He made the play 4 yards in front of where he started, but I would have liked him to stay more on the back hip and don't get too ahead of yourself, right? Play it slower, especially with D linemen. Our D linemen, we play inside out, right? And we've got contained players outside. Make those guys run east and west until they either run off the field into the sideline or until we get to one of our contained guys. But not a terrible job by either guy. I figured I'd show that one just to kind of show you how we don't want it done. So let's hop back into huddle. Hopefully this is going pretty smooth so far. Let's share. So I've got play 7. Here we go. Let's see. And if anything ever doesn't look right, feel free to just turn your mic on and let me know if you can't see something properly. Okay, so here we go. We're looking at play 7 here. Here's my defensive end, 44 here, closest to the screen in the 3-point stance. He's going to lag the hip here, and he's going to, like I said, he's not going to penetrate. He's going to get into the backfield about a yard deep. Okay. Oh, sorry, wrong play. That's the wrong play. Okay, let's see. Here we go. I got it. Here we go. This technology, I tell you what. I'm figuring it out, though. Here we go. 44. He's going to get about almost maybe a half yard deep in the backfield. He's going to lag the hip on the ball carrier, and he's going to finish the play here. So look at that. The C's open up right for him, and he's not sprinting upfield. See how he took that lateral step? His shoulders are square. He stays on the back hip, gives no cutback lane, finishes the play. Okay, show that one more time. I think I might have gone a little quick on you guys. Here we go. Okay, again, here we go. Stays square, finds himself in the backfield, starts to get lateral instead of getting deep and penetrating. Stays on the back hip, finishes through the back hip, and finishes the tackle. Here we go. Let's go to play 15. Here we go. All right, play 15. I'd be crushing myself if I didn't put a DB in here. We do this with our DBs, I told you. So here's a play. If you look at my the free safety that's closest to us and the white, he's got the white socks on. He's going to attack downhill. He's going to run that banana route. Here he goes downhill. He's on the back hip right now, if you can see. Attacks that back hip, tackles in the back hip, and delivers the good blow, the good finish. Good finish. Little guy coming up on a big running back. He went for the cut tackle. I like it. All right, let's get back. Okay. So staying on that back hip, like I said, we want our guys, we want our interior guys, our linebackers and our defensive linemen, uh, to be inside out players, push it out to the sideline. You know, if we force a guy into the sideline, we don't make the tackle. Good for us, right? That's always a win. That's always a win for us when we push a guy out. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the PowerPoint. Nope, did it again. So that's your leg to hip drill. All right, and the last one I'll go over with you guys is what we call a skate drill. All right, we love this one. This is one of our favorites. Guys get to be a little bit physical. You add in some blockers, so it's kind of a combination of both drills. But our guys actually really like this one. They get after it with each other in this drill. Let me get back. Sorry. They work hard. They push each other like crazy on this one. Okay, so similar setup to before. You want to be about 10 to 15 yards wide, just so you're not working with the whole field. Quick drills, right? 10 to 15 yards wide from the defender with my white shirt on to the running back in the back with the long dark sleeves. You've got 2 blockers. Sometimes we've done 3 blockers, but that gets a little bit congested. So we like to do 2 blockers. And it's just shed one guy, get off, shed the next guy, get off, and then we're tackling on the back hip still. So here we go. Let's take a look. Good power position to start. Look how his head is below the head of the offensive guy. Great separation to start. Look at that. Look at the hip pop, the hands popping, violent hands. Here we go. Move on to the next one. Notice how he's staying square, right? He's not turning. He's staying square. Not a great job there. Don't love the lack of separation. I think he was just trying to get on and off it, but we finished through. Good tackle on the back hip. It's a great job right there. All right. And then like I did before, I'll show you an example of something we don't want to see, right? I think he's a little bit too high in this one. His first step is what we call a false step. So I'll pause it right on that first step. See how that first step is going backwards? It's almost turning his shoulders a little bit too. That's a weak step in my mind. I would have told him, come on, do you want to attack? Do you want to make plays forward, or do you want to make plays backwards, right? So we're attacking forward. Decent separation, good little club and rip right there. Club with the right hand, rip with the left, get off the first block pretty quick, but look at his shoulders, right? He gives the offensive lineman the opportunity to push him in the back, right? And most of the time, that's not going to get called if you're turning your shoulders, right? He's losing his back hip leverage, and he gets the cut back on, right? So we want to be, like I talked about before, remember, I said controlled chaos. This kid in the white shirt, he causes some chaos, I'll tell you what. But if he's not in control, he gets too ahead of himself, right? Trying to do too much a little bit right there, I would say. All right. So that one is called skate drill. It's just a simple shed the block, finish, tag the back hip, or like I said, you can end with a tackle, however you'd want to do it. Right. So let's go back. I got some plays to show you for this one. Okay, here we go. So I got a little end zone view for you. We don't always get the end zone view, so this is kind of a little treat. So we got play 13. Here's 44 again. He's our left defensive end. This guy right here, okay? And he does a pretty darn good job of getting on a block, getting off a block, and making a play here. Let's take a look. Good. Shoulders are staying pretty square. A little bit more separation would have been good, but look at where he's playing, right? He's not penetrating. He's got the clear ability right now to just shoot up field, but he's not. He's settling his feet down. He's staying square. He's staying in our 3-yard box. Here we go. Sheds the block, continues down the line, and makes the tackle. Go back a little bit. One more time. Here we go. Great stance. This kid is a specimen. I tell you what. It's kid number 44, our defensive end for us. Again, good violent hands. Kid's strong as an ox. Staying square, staying in that 3-yard box. Pursues down the line. Makes the play, right? Get on blocks, get off blocks. We had to tell our middle linebacker this year, he was the defensive player of the year in our section as a linebacker. And he loves contact and he loves attacking the line of scrimmage. We love it all, but sometimes he wanted to spend too much time with blockers. And we told him, Dan, get on the block and get off. Do you want to make more tackles or do you want to just bash heads? And he said, I want to make more tackles, coach. I said, well, then get on a block and get off it, would you? One of those things. And it changed him a little bit. He started making a lot more tackles and he did a great job for us. All right. So let's get back to PowerPoint here. All right. Actually, let me come back quick. Check to make sure you guys don't have any questions about that stuff that I missed. Are we all set to continue? Any questions about like those drills and kind of like the base of the stuff we do?
Throw Bristol into the mix as
We're good to keep going, coach.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Let's get back to this PowerPoint here. All right. Here we go for our stunts, some of our stunts and our blitzes. I call it the fun stuff, baby, the good stuff. And it's funny I say that because we've gone in the last two seasons that we've had, the success that we've had, we've gone probably, 60% of the games without blitzing once, right? Our guys are just playing sound defense. They're just playing their position so well. They'll ask me, Coach, can I blitz? Coach, can I blitz? No, we're up 40-0. We haven't given up a touchdown. We've given up two first downs in the first 3 quarters. Why would we blitz now? I want to. Don't get me wrong. I love a guy that wants to get in there and mess some stuff up. But if you don't have to, and sometimes we don't have to, we don't do it. All right. Why do we do our stunts and blitzes? Deceive the offenses, right? Again, back to my original point. We want to keep the offense guessing. They think they're firing off the ball and they're blocking this guy, they're blocking that guy. Well, guess what? This guy's going that way. This guy's coming this way. Good luck. Good luck trying to. Really, I tell you what, we don't do a lot of run blitzes. But if we do, it's obviously, take up some holes, take up some gaps quicker. Their teams are hitting the line a little bit quicker. We bring our pressures really against the pass. We don't see a whole lot of passing in our section. Next year we will. We're going up a section, but we want to get on the quarterback. And I might say this again, but I'll tell you what. We got guys that are blitzing, and we got our defensive linemen that are attacking on the pass, and they're telling me, Coach, he's getting it off too fast. I'm getting in his face, but he's getting it off still. We're not getting any sacks. We're not getting any sacks, blah, blah, blah. And I say, listen, at our level, and I up to whatever level, but especially in like the youth levels, up to high school football, a lot of these quarterbacks, all you have to do is just kind of get in their face, even get a couple yards away from them on a free run. And I'll tell you what, they're not going to sit in that pocket like these pros do. You watch these pro quarterbacks take these big hits. Something tells me, and it's a lot of experience that tells me that these quarterbacks, if you get in their face pretty quick, they're going to get rid of that ball. And I'll tell the guys, it's okay if we don't get sacks. Did you see where the ball went? It's sitting on the track. It's on the sideline. He couldn't get a good pass off. So that's a win for me. Do I want them to get to the quarterback, have some fun, make some sacks? Of course I do. That's why we bring the pressure. But we bring pressure. Quarterbacks throw bad balls. We get picks. We get incomplete passes. That's what we do. Our blitzes set up some disguises that we do too. You bring the linebacker up, you move the defensive lineman over a little bit. It looks like we're blitzing. We're blitzing sometimes. We're not blitzing other times. It seems a little complicated, but with the verbiage we use and the simplicity of our fronts and our stunts it's so basic. Our guys get it. They pick up to it. They pick up on it really quickly. And lastly, sometimes we blitz because we've got the dogs, man. We've got some guys that will get in there. They'll find a way in there. They'll time up their blitzes. We got defensive linemen who will set up a blitz or become free because of the blitzer. We just got guys who love to do it. So I'm just going to show you some of our blitzes real quick. I'll go through it real quick, and then I got a bunch. I got quite a few plays I'll show you on video. Here you go. So here's back to our base defense, right? We got 50 angle. So, right, our defensive linemen are all moving away from the strength. We got strong right, tight. We go tight end strength. So we've got strong right to the defense. We're angling, so we're going to our left, right? An arrow is just a simple A gap arrow, starts with an A, ends with a W. That means our will linebacker, our weak side linebacker, is going to the unoccupied A gap, right? So our will linebacker, he knows that our nose guy is going to the weak side A gap. So he knows that he's got to blitz to the strong side A gap, right? And what our guy loved to do, he loved to creep up into the weak side A gap, and then he'd kind of scoop around. And sometimes we have him line up in that gap. Sometimes he lines up here. Sometimes he lines up 5 yards off the ball in his base position, and he goes from there. Just a whole lot of different things you can do with just a simple blitz, right? This is as easy as it gets, as simple as it gets. Wait till I show you the film, though, and you'll see how effective it really is. Here's slant arrow. Okay, so your same guy is blitzing. You've got arrow on, which is unoccupied A gap by the will linebacker. And now we're in slant, right? So now our front is moving to the strength, to the tight end side, and that's just more of a straight blitz. With this one, I tell my guy not to line up in the gap. I say, I want you to just get that straight shot in there. Should have said this before, but what we tell our guys, these arrows for our defensive linemen here, show them going to their key, to the lineman next to them. But really, this nose in this situation is gonna attack the center first and try to turn his shoulders, and either he's gonna become free if the center picks up the linebacker blitzing, or if he picks up the nose, our linebacker is gonna become free. We see both all the time. Okay, here's one of our outside linebacker blitzes. Here's our flex call, right? So we're back to our flex call, means our defensive ends are attacking the outside shoulder of the tackles. Our warrior linebacker, he can start from pretty much wherever he wants, as long as he's getting in there and making an impact. You'll see a great play in a minute when I show you our guy making a play on this one. But this warrior guy, he can, if they had a slot receiver lined up over here, he can line up right on him, and then on the cadence, ready, set, he can creep in and then go. He can be on the line of scrimmage right here, back here, and then take a drop step and then angle in. This one's real effective for us because especially these outside linebackers for us are hybrid athletes. They can fly, they can get in there fast. They make some plays. Okay, so let me go back. All right, so let me go through a little slew of some of our blitzes. You guys are going to love this. This is the good stuff right here. And like I said, I know this is D-line talk, but when I show you this film, you'll see how much of an impact our defensive linemen make on our blitzes. And sometimes they even get in there, and sometimes they do create. Sometimes they are the ones that create the openings for our linebackers. So here we go. Without further ado, let's take a look here. Let's go back to play one. Okay. So here, play one. We got our will linebacker, right? Our weak side linebacker, number 2 here. He's kind of switching spots before the play. Okay. Try to slow it down for you guys as much as possible. Okay, so 2, they were misaligned for whatever reason, but it looks like we're slanting to the right side. So our D line is going to the right. Our nose, he's the one that made the play on this film earlier when I showed it to you. But watch how easy, scot-free he comes in. Now look at 44. He's our left side defensive end. He's occupying one guy. Look at our nose tackle. He's got the shoulders of the center turned. And here comes our linebacker. Look at that. Look at that hole for him to run through, huh? Not bad. And he's actually in on that tackle. I would have given him a half a point for that one. He should have held on tighter. He shouldn't have penetrated so much, right? We tell our guys to play in that 3-yard box. Okay. Here we go. All right. Here's a good one for you here. Here's your D lineman making a good play on a stunt. Okay. So it looks like we are in angle. So we're going, or it looks like slant actually. We're going to the defense's left. My right side defensive end with the armband on his forearm. He's going to attack the tackle that he's on. We've got number 2 right here. He's in that position. He's on the right side of our nose. He's going to scoop around to the left. So what you got is, if you can see it, I'll try to pause it right at that moment. This guard right here is actually pointing to our linebacker, thinking he's going to have to pick him up. All right. And our outside linebacker to our side right now, 81, tall guy. He's the one that was doing the drills before, tall guy in the white shirt. He's going to attack the outside shoulder. He's our contain rusher. So we got a 3-on-1 right there. Here we go. Let's take a look. So if I can pause it right in the moment. Look at this guy. This is pass blocking. And here's the guard right here in the middle of the screen. He's the one that was pointing at our linebacker that he thought was blitzing to the right side A gap. And he scoops around to the left. And now look at him. He's lost. He has no one to block. And so now we've got our outside linebacker right here, right? He's attacking this guy. And we've got our defensive end here. We got a 2-on-1. Hope we can make this play, right? You got a 2-on-1. He gets a little bit deep in the backfield, but our D end finishes that one, picks himself up the sack, left the quarterback no time to make any type of play, any type of pass, right? So really, we're pushing and pulling guys certain directions to open up other things. We're showing certain things to get them thinking. You know, it's our defense is all about deception. I'll keep saying that, but it really is, and it's been huge to our success. Okay, all right. So this next one, we got play 5. Here we go. This is a good one right here. You'll see our nose guard Joey, right over the ball. He's going to attack hard to the right. Our linebacker really kind of just makes this play for himself, but because he times up the snap so well. But Joey attacks hard to the right. Our nose guy attacks hard to the right, and he opens up this gap for us. And this is actually a run blitz. This was the first play of the game, our first defensive play of the whole season. We wanted to set tone. So I sent number 2, our linebacker, on this blitz right up the middle, and man, did he make something happen. I'll tell you what. If only he could have finished this tackle, but he timed it up pretty well. Look at Joe taking on 2 guys right now, our nose guard taking on 2 guys. Chase gets in there. Number 2 gets in there. That back was a little bit bigger than he thought, I guess, because he kind of falls off of him, doesn't make the play. I'm sure he still sees this play in his nightmares. But look at the amount of guys we got pursuing to the football. Look at the red jerseys trying to get there. Number 1's loafing, kind of pissing me off, but he'll get a negative for that. He knows that. But look at the red jerseys, man. I told you guys before, we get 11 guys to the ball. Be in the screen, right? Be in the screen. Get to the ball, make a play. Here we go. Let's go number 8. Okay, here we go. Here's your flex cross stunt on the end. Let me zoom in real tight for this one. This one's a beautiful one. This one's a beauty. Okay, take a look. So you've got 81 as our outside linebacker on the left. We're in flex, right? So our defensive ends are attacking the outside shoulder, and our defensive end on the left knows that he's in a cross stunt. He's in the cross blitz. So he's really going to push this guy, this offensive tackle, to go wide and open up that lane. And like I said, if the tackle takes our blitzing linebacker, then our D end is free. If vice versa. So here we go. Take a look. He's in a good spot. Our outside linebacker is outside him. 44, our defensive end on the left, really pushes hard to the outside. And it's funny because our outside linebacker just found the hole and it ended up being the A gap instead of the B gap where he was supposed to go. But, you know, you can't, if guys want a ball, they want a ball. And look at how free he is, man. And look at how wide. If you stop the screen right now, look at how wide 44 has taken his man. You know, that's like, you know, sometimes our guys are fine with just sacrifice and saying, you know, you make this play. We tell our guys that all the time. He's going to sacrifice for you one time. You sacrifice for him the next time. I mean, look at this. 44 just completely took that tackle out of the play. And our outside linebacker gets to the quarterback. Pretty free run. I thought he should have tackled him a little bit harder. He kind of just went to his waist, but that's all right. I'll take it. And then this one is just a different angle. Same one. Here you go. Let me zoom in for you. Okay. Here's 81, the bottom of the screen. Defensive end, Hudson, 44. Here we go. Hudson's quick. Look at that first step by the D end. Wow. He's quick, man. He stays square, pushing that guy. Look at him push that guy about twice his size back. Look at his head. It's up in the air. And here comes 81. Free run, right through the gap. Go. Let's keep this moving. 9, 10. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here's another one of our twists, number 2 again. All right, one of those inside little twist stunts. Okay. So you see 2 creeping up, and he loved going from one side to the other, kind of scooping around our nose guard. Here he comes. He's coming from the left to the right. Look at the shoulders of the center right now, 77. So Joe, our nose guard, really attacked that left side shoulder, turned his body completely, allows Chase to get in there. And like I said, at times, the D linemen get in there. It's all about, you know, what the offensive lineman chooses to do. Zoom back out for you. 2, blast this guy. And look at this quarterback throwing off his back foot, sloppy. Chase blasts that A back, incomplete pass, right? Show you that one more time, full screen, so you can see kind of the whole thing going together. All right, creeps up. Joe attacks that left shoulder tight. Chase, the linebacker, comes in there untouched until he gets to that A back, pushes the A back almost into the quarterback, forcing that bad throw. We love to see it. Love to see it. I got 2 more for you. No, we'll keep moving. I know I'm kind of running short on time. I could do this all day. We could go all day. Okay, I'll try to speed it up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Here's my Mike linebacker, 18, taller guy. He's on the right side. He's crept up in the A gap. Joey, our nose guard, is going to take him to the left. He's going to take the center to the left, and Dan's going to come in there almost untouched. Here we go. Oh, no, there's a scoop. Sorry, there's a scoop. So that must have been slant axe, which is what we'd call that one. Okay, and he's going around, taking on that A back, almost untouched. If he doesn't leave his feet, he makes this play. I tell our guys, don't leave your feet. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then 44 too, he's in there. But again, just guys getting in almost untouched because some guys are doing, you know, taking, you know, sacrificing themselves a little bit and taking the chance that, you know, it may be them making the play. Here's your straight one. This is a slant arrow. So our defensive line is moving to the left. Our middle linebacker on the right side, he's coming right through that A gap. Okay, so we're just moving bodies and creating openings for our guys. This one, luckily, incomplete again. Terrible throw, right? He's off balance. He's getting hit as he throws. That's what we want to see. That's what we want. All right, so those are our blitzes. I thought you guys would like those ones. Our guys are getting in free because of our defensive linemen, man. They're dogs. They make the offensive line worry. They make them worried that they have to block and they don't know where we're going, and we're deceiving them. All right. So let's switch this up back to the PowerPoint quick. All right. Move this along pretty quick. Okay. Pass rush. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Pass rush. You got to read pass, right? We talked about reading the helmet tag. Those shoulders come back. That head goes up. We know it's pass. get to the quarterback, right? But we got to maintain our lanes, our pass rushing lanes. Whether you're an outside guy coming outside in or you're an inside guy coming inside out, keep your gap integrity. Even if something looks open, like I said before, if something looks open, especially in the pass rush, don't take it. You stay in your gap, and we emphasize that like crazy. You stay in your gap, defeat your blocker, defeat the pass block in your gap, get by, make a play, staying tight off that blocker, right? We don't want to go all the way around guys. We want to come right off their hip. I tell guys, when you beat a block and you're trying to get to the quarterback, I want you to steal their wallet out of their back pocket. I want you to be tight enough that you could steal his wallet out of his back pocket, right? You got to have quick feet, violent hands, and great technique, right? I've said it before, maybe obvious, but we tell our guys that all the time. Nothing's too obvious to football players. You know where their heads are at. Sometimes they're thinking about whatever and this and that, but you got to emphasize the simple stuff, okay? Hands up on the release, like I just talked about in that last video. Get your hands up. Don't leave your feet. Don't jump, because then the pump fake's going to kill you. He's going to scramble. You're in trouble, right? Don't leave your feet. Get your hands up high, knock it down, or make him throw over your hands, right? Bad balls. We want bad balls, okay? So here's just kind of our look at our pass pursuits, all right? Just with a little bit of coverage behind it. Like I said, we play a cover 4. So if you look at the one on the left, you got your flex cloud. Your 2 defensive ends are attacking outside shoulder of the tackle, staying tight, squeezing from outside in. Our nose, in this instance, he's a 2-gap player, so whatever he finds more open, he can attack. At times when we play against a quarterback who maybe can run the ball and scramble a little bit more, we'll have our middle backers spy on something like this. But flex, we got our outside contain guys as our ends and our inside rusher as our nose. The bottom middle one, here's your slant cloud, right? So slant, same thing. There's your pass rush lanes. Whatever gap you're attacking towards, you stay in that gap. You get upfield. You break yourself down, right? This is right. We break the rule of the 3-yard box on this because obviously we want to get to the quarterback. We want to pressure him, but we've faced some quarterbacks who can scramble, and we've told our guys, defeat the pass block, break your feet down, and then controlled chaos again. Get to the quarterback, but not in a full sprint. We want our guys with a wide base, choppy, quick steps, right? Staying in your gap, defeating the block, staying tight off the block, and getting in there. The last one, this is a great one. We love this one because we bring we got there's a little 5-man pressure. So when we pinch, our ends both come inside, right? Which means that we need some outside pass rush support. We need some contained pass rush support. So our outside linebackers become that. We got 5 guys coming to the quarterback, and teams are pretty lucky if they get a ball off against this defense. So again, maintain your rush lanes, defeat your block, stay tight off your block, and break down on the quarterback. Don't leave your feet. Show you some quick clips on this one. Okay, here we go. Let's get to play 11. All right. Again, we did just watch this one, but we kind of emphasized the blitz on it. So we're going to watch our left side defensive end, Hudson, number 44. Check out this technique. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's a clip online of Aaron Donald doing a drill at practice where he's got his hand on the neck of one of his teammates, and he's kind of taking jab steps, right? I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's hilarious. And I was like, what the heck is he doing? I didn't find out what he was doing until I watched this defensive end on our team do stuff like this. And so take a look. Our left side defensive end, he's attacking inside, right? Obviously our motion's going to the right, but he's gonna stay contained. And look at that extension right on the neck, right? He keeps his outside arm free, right? We tell our pass rush contain guys, keep your outside arm free, right? Because that way nothing can get outside you. Unfortunately, this doesn't really happen in the end. But take a look at this. He's trying to squeeze it down. Look at him. Look at that guy's head going back. Love it. Love to see it. He squeezes it down. Notice how he's not just staying outside, right? He's pushing with that right hand to squeeze him down. Now, unfortunately, he leaves his feet right here because the guy pump faked. But if he hadn't done that, I'll tell you what, this kid's getting a sack. But that's a heck of a job with one hand on a kid who's about half a foot taller than him. Squares back up. And if that quarterback doesn't get that ball off, you tell me, is he going to make the sack? Yeah, that kid runs a 4.7 40, this defensive end for us. He's unbelievable. But he's going to get to the quarterback. That's just great technique, squeezing it down from the outside, right? We're playing outside in on the ends and getting upfield and making a play to disrupt the quarterback. Okay, one more. Got play number 17 for you. Okay, here's our nose. Anyone who said a nose can't get a sack or put pressure on the quarterback is wrong, man. So here's our nose right in the middle. He's 60 right here. Okay, he's going to get good extension. He's going to get a good read. He's going to get off the block fast, and he's going to just get enough pressure on the quarterback for him to get the ball out a little bit quicker than he wants to. Okay, here we go. So right off the snap of the ball, good extension. Look at that. Right? He reads pass. His gap is to the right. He gets off the block quick, gets rid of him. And, this is what I'm talking about when I say that pressure, right? This quarterback sees this guy coming straight at him, right up the middle, out of the A gap, with no blockers in front of him, right? He's got to get this ball out. I'll tell you what, it's not a great ball thrown because you've got this outside linebacker dropping right to this slant, and you've got a corner right on the top. And if he had more time, he probably wouldn't have thrown that ball because it was into the danger zone. So, let's get back. Okay. All right. There. Quickly, I got one more slide for you guys. Sorry, I went a little bit late. Hopefully you guys don't mind. I mean, talking football never really gets old. You never, you could just do it forever.
No problem, Coach. We'll have some questions for you as well, so don't you worry.
Okay, perfect, sweet. Okay, all right, here we go. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to you guys' questions if you have any. But just quick coaching points, and some of this might sound like a broken record. Some of it might not. But I think it's just something that I've learned over time from great coaches. My father taught me. It's just something that I've heard like time and time again. So why not pass it on and continue to pass it on? Find what's right for you and what fits your philosophy and personnel. I didn't get on here today to tell you to run a 50 front or to do our movements or do this and that, right? You got to know who you have. Since I've been at Niskayuna, I've been coaching there for about 10 years. I've ran a 4-3. We started with a 4-3, and then we didn't have the guys for that. We needed to put more guys in the box. So we went to a 4-4, and we didn't really have the defensive backs that could play cover 3. They weren't quick enough. So me and my dad researched, and we said, let's put the team off balance. Let's move our defensive front constantly. Let's deceive them. Let's throw in simple blitzes in here and make it simple as can be, right? Which leads me to my next one. And I don't know why I said for us, high school simplicity has been key. I think at any level, as simple as you can keep it, right? So the guys can go out there and just play, right? You don't want them thinking too much. You want them just knowing what they got to do. Ball is snapped, they go, right? No teaching or coaching opportunity is a bad one, right? I came out of college. I told the guys this at our first meeting. I came out of college and I was so excited to coach high school, and I was so excited to share so many of the things that I learned in college. And it was like going way over their heads. It was too much. So even the simplest thing is changing a guy's stance to moving his foot back an inch, right? The players will look at you and roll their eyes, right? Make them run a lap or something. But it's those things that are so important. It's the little things, right? Just take a step back sometimes. I have to tell myself that. Take a step back sometimes, and remember, some of these guys have only been playing football a couple of years. They didn't play it their whole lives. They don't understand it like you do, right? Next is just find opportunities to work with your players and coaches. We meet a whole lot. An hour, right? An hour, even a half hour just to sit down. We grab our players sometimes on the weekends. I'll just tell guys, whoever wants to show up, I've got a bag of footballs. I've got some tackling dummies. I got some pads. Let's get out there for an hour or however long you can stay. Opportunity, more reps, right? Next one, work to achieve overall player athleticism. I'm very biased on this one because I'm the strength and conditioning guy, but I'll tell you what, in the last 2 years, we've had the best attendance in our weight room and our off-season workouts for speed and agility and all that stuff and weightlifting. And it's a direct correlation without a doubt. We've had like I said, the best attendance 2 years straight, school history, without a doubt in my mind. I know the football stuff is more important because if you don't know what you're doing on the field, but if you can get your guys doing some type of training, physical training, I'd say that is, keep that going, get that done. Last thing, the most important thing to me, and I hate to leave it last, but sometimes they say when you're talking to people, the last thing you say, they remember the most. Develop your players into fine young men, right? Don't forget sometimes that you're working with kids, you're working with young men. Don't let yourself get too worked up in all the football of it. When football is football, you focus on football. When you're outside of football, talk to your guys, teach them how to be respectful young men, right? Teach them responsibility, teach them and emphasize all those great qualities that come with being a football player, right? Hey, this was awesome. This is a great opportunity. Thank you guys very much. I won't take any more time because I know you guys probably got questions. So let me hop out of this quick. Let me stop sharing and get back into the meet with you guys.
Coach, if you'll pass the hosting back to me, and I'll get to the questions for you. And guys, you can also unmute and ask any questions once I've gone through the ones on the chat. Coach, you'll pass the hosting back as soon as you can. The first question is from Coach Barnes. Coach, do you see match gap scheme? If so, do you teach your D-line to squeeze the gap down when they slant, or do you just get vertical?
One second. I just don't know how to pass the host back to you.
Okay, well, don't worry. You carry on and I'll figure that out. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
So I'll ask again.
So it got a little choppy.
Do you see much gap scheme? If so, do you teach your D-line to squeeze the gap down when they slant, or do they just get vertical?
We don't see much gap scheme. We did last year, one game, and we squeeze it down, right? We squeeze the gap down. Like I said, we don't like to get vertical, so we play inside that 3-yard box. Squeeze it down, maintain your gap integrity, and if we can know know the offense as best as we can, and we can angle or slant our guys towards the scheme, I do that as best as possible. So we squeeze the gap down. We don't get vertical.
Thank you. What do you teach the O-line that play level? What do you teach versus O-line that play levels and are in 2-point?
So levels as in what? Sorry.
I guess what we're talking about is the O-line when they're
okay. So if they're set back or something,
yeah exactly.
No different. We see that's something we do see quite a bit is the difference in is depths. I think teams like to do that against us. Obviously, that'd be one of the solutions to it, but we don't change what we do at all to that.
Okay. How do you teach the 2-gap nose as in technique?
So he's firing off the ball. He's firing square into the center, and he's getting his separation like he usually would. And more times than not, he's going to feel pressure on a down from one of the guards, or he's going to feel reach technique. He's going to feel some type of zone movement from that center. So he's just reading the center how he would anyone else if he was slanting or angling to him.
How much emphasis do you place on improving players' quickness off the ball? What drills do you run to achieve this?
Quickness off the ball. Good question. First off, like I said, I do as much sprint and agility work with my D linemen as I do my DBs and running backs. We have a shoot. If you guys know what a shoot is, we got the low shoot, right? So our guys are forced to get out of their stance, stay low, get off the ball. We compete with our guys all the time. We race guys. We run guys versus guys in similar speed. But really, like I said, I think the shoot is one of the best ways to do it, keeping those guys low and getting through that shoot as quick as possible.
Do you teach low paddle? Do you teach low pad level? Do you ever work on lower key, e.g. the V of the neck?
Yes, we did start with via the neck, and I'm sure I had a feeling I was going to get this question because reading the helmet tag might get you up too high. But I'll tell you what, over my years of watching football and watching our guys play and coaching it, I've noticed that we tell these guys to come off the ball so low. And like I said, we do use the shoot, but that just helps with the quickness. But I don't think it's as effective as a stance. Like you wouldn't if you watched a sprinter, right? You watch the sprinter sprint. They're fairly low, but they're kind of standing up. They have that forward lean, but they're kind of standing up. You wouldn't run like with your knees bent really low, and you wouldn't be as quick. It just wouldn't make sense, right? So pad level, we tell our guys to stay lower, but anything like put your nose on their chin, right? I'm fine with nose to chin, because then we can kind of see what's happening. We can be quick. All right. We're not stuck in that crouch down stance. We're not staying too low where it's uncomfortable, right? If our guys are getting high and they're getting pushed back, that's one thing. But if our guys are getting, a little bit higher, but they're still effective with their hands, their chest is over their knees, right? And their feet are quick, I can take that.
Coach, when you're teaching the long arm technique to long arm the O lineman, what are your emphasis?
So in the video, he turned his shoulder, right? He got his shoulder turned a little bit. I would like to stay square, right? A wide base with your feet, pressing down and keeping that outside arm free. What was the last one? And squeeze it down, right? That's about it, man. I mean, it's a tough technique to teach guys unless they're as strong as 44 was in the film, but it can work, man. It can work if you got the guy.
All right. Coaches, any questions, just raise your hands or unmute and go ahead and ask. Coaches here, we got a few more minutes, so if there's anything you want to ask, please do so. No, I'm going to jump in while people are thinking of questions. Just ask you a quick one myself. You get these high school kids in, and you'll find that some of them can be a little bit gun shy in terms of because they're so close to the action. What do you work on to build that confidence for them?
Confidence, just like being more physical.
Correct. We
do. We contact guys year round. We teach a lot of. One of the things we really do is we get hands-on guys in the off season without pads on, right? Another thing we've done is we've gotten guys on the wrestling mats, right? We've gotten guys on the wrestling mats, and we just kind of say, you two, here's a circle right here, push each other out, right? Push each other out. We don't tackle full speed, but we do take guys to the ground. And I've noticed that as guys go to the ground, right, they feel that contact on the ground. They feel themselves holding the man and taking a guy to the ground or getting their hands on a man. And that definitely builds confidence. I'll tell you the one more thing, and I've said it a couple times, and it might sound crazy, but our guys have learned confidence being physical, especially with their hands, from being in the weight room and getting stronger. They just feel that, sense of like that grit a little bit. They learn a little bit of grit in the workouts. They understand I tell them, I don't just say we're we're going to go in and bench press today, right? I say, why do we do bench press, right? Why would we do bench press? And the kid will say, because we want to push off of people. Yeah, right. The stronger you are at that, the more capable you're going to be at pushing a man. So I'd say get the guys as strong as you can. Contact as much as possible, even without pads on. So get guys' hands on as much as possible, and take guys to the ground when you can, even if it's half speed. We got a big pad this past year, like a big kind of like I don't know, just a big pad that we have on our field, and we do like half speed tackling onto the pad, so we're not slamming the turf time and time again, right? I would just say repetition and getting guys comfortable going to the ground, grabbing onto guys, smacking each other around a little bit.
Just to expand on the wrestling bit, because obviously we have limited time over here, but one of the things that we've found is that one-on-one kind of grappling competition is really works well. It challenges them and the people around them, really. There's nowhere to hide. Do you find that kind of wrestling type of stuff really helps in grappling? And
yeah, I'll tell you what, our some of our best players that I've coached in the last 10 years are wrestlers. What a better combination than wrestle football, right? So we try to get all our guys doing wrestling and football, But yeah, it's a great thing to do, and you're on the mat, so guys aren't getting hurt and stuff, but they're getting after it, man. We've turned some guys that are quiet guys and guys that you would never think into just animals because they're comfortable going to the ground. They're comfortable grabbing onto another man.
And I've got a question on the chat here. Do you teach the guys to change their stances at all on third down? Do you teach a tilt alignment?
Nothing changes. Nothing changes on third down. Nope. We are like I said before, we're very simple. It's just the movement that changes, the direction, maybe the pinch, right? Maybe a blitz, but what we do on the defensive line in terms of technique and our movement, it is almost an exact replica each time.
Well, there's not another question. I don't want to take over the questions, but I got a few for you.
Go ahead.
This is the second time we're speaking, all right? And I already have a sense of your personality and the way you are. How much is that a reflection of a defensive coordinator or a head coach on the reflection of how your team plays, especially the defense?
It's direct. It's direct. And I'll tell you what, I can't take the credit for it. It comes from my dad. Yeah, it's definitely pretty contagious. I mean, when you love football, you're excited to be out there. Doesn't matter if it's 90-degree weather or not. And because I spend so much time with the guys, both in the weight room and on the field and our off-season workouts and all that stuff, we build a good relationship, and they're like, Coach, you're so crazy about football. What is it? Why? Why? I said, this is what I do. I live and I breathe this game. And they start to kind of get it, and we keep practices fast paced. We transition quick. We add in some fun drills like turnover drills. We do some so just like tackling circuits and those types of things that I wish I had like some film to show you guys on that stuff. Yeah, it's a direct reflection. I'll tell you what, and I'm glad I can be the guy that they look at and say, I want to have his energy. He's excited about this game. Let's get out there and let's play for this guy, and I don't ever want to take any credit, but if I can reflect back on the guys with the energy that I have, that's just a plus for my job.
And do you work on that? No, I mean, I don't mean you internally, but do you work on getting that energy across?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that I tell the guys I work on it, but I think just through having the good energy and, rainy days, cold days, whatever, no matter what, you still bring the energy. My dad always says it's great. It's a great day to be alive, man. And I couldn't agree more. It's just another opportunity to be great on the football field.
It must be a great relationship telling your dad what to do.
So I'll tell you quick, when I first started coaching with him and I became the defensive coordinator when he was still the head coach, sometimes during a game, I would look to him and say, "What do you think here?" And he'd just go, and I'd say, "Okay, I get." He threw me to the wolves, man. And I tell you what, there's no better way to learn. It's been awesome. It's special, and I don't take any day with my dad and coaching with my dad and talking football with my dad for granted.
Fantastic. Yeah, guys, any more questions? Please jump in. Otherwise, we're going to let Coach go. Although me and you could probably talk for a lot longer. Simon?
I got a question for you, Coach. Coach Bear, I've really enjoyed your talk tonight. I want to throw a question in there for you.
Yep.
If your defensive personnel, you were a little light on the defensive lineman side, but you had a lot of guys more linebacker size, how would you supplement the D line with those guys?
Oh man, if they were a little bit lighter,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? To be honest, if as long as they were quick enough, I'd almost prefer that. Like that guy, we had a kid 2 years ago, real light kid, and the slanting and angling actually worked for him better than it worked for anyone else because of his ability to get there quickly and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of vanish. He's over the nose, or he's over the tackle at one point, and boom, he's over the guard, just like that. When we first really started, when my dad and I decided to go with this 50 slant defense, that's kind of what we pictured was these quick guys, because we were playing these teams in a higher division who had these guys that looked like linebackers, and we're saying, what the heck are they doing with these guys? But these guys were just getting by our offensive linemen in a heartbeat. These past 2 years, we've been lucky to have guys that were bigger and quicker. But I'll tell you what, if it like when we first started, like I said, our ideal lineman, defensive lineman, was an undersized, quick kid, and that's what we thought we were going to get out of doing what we do with the slanting and angling. But like I said, we were lucky enough to have kind of hybrid guys in the last 2 years. So, yeah.
Good. Okay. And do you tend to use them out of a 2-point stance, or do you mix them up and have them put a hand down as well?
Oh, for our defensive guys?
Yeah. If you were going to use them up on the line, would you want them in a 2?
Yeah. Well, we're 3.
Hand down.
No, we get them in 3s.
Okay.
3 points. Yep. We're pretty consistent.
Good. Good. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Great. Any more questions, guys? I'm just going to get Coach Chuck to just wind it up for us a little bit. Coach, I appreciate you coming here. We're going to chat some more. Would love to get you on a one-to-one with us. We run a thing called Coach's Lounge, and we'll have a little chat on that. But I'm just going to let Coach Chuck Bresnahan just say a few words, and then we'll get going. Okay.
Thanks, Rick. Hey, guys, that was awesome. 2 great lectures, and it was really good information. And behind Rick, you see the background, share the knowledge. That's just so important that we all get together and do this. And I said at the beginning, before the lecture started, let's make sure that we bring people and continue to let this thing grow. And the more you can get involved, the more we're going to learn as a collective group. So very much appreciative for Coach Rick putting this whole thing together. Again, I look forward to this every month. I mean, this is something I've been doing this a long time, and I don't leave this clinic without learning 2 or 3 new things that in the back of my mind, or confirming that I'm doing something right, or tweaking it and making it even better. So, these are all things that you just take a couple things out of each lecture and apply it to what you do. But again, I think we need to give a lot of thanks and credit to Coach Rick for doing such an amazing job with this and getting these speakers. But Coach Furey, that was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. And gentlemen, I hope everybody has a great week. The NFL draft was on this weekend, so I've been having fun watching that. And this is a great way to finish it off.
Thank you, Coach. So the next session is May the 25th. We're going to start working on promoting that. So stay tuned. Appreciate everything you guys do, investing the time to help yourself, help the players that you coach, and let's keep at it. Coach Furey, thank you very much again. Really appreciate it. Coach Stretch, I know you had your technical issues, but again, thank you very much. And for you guys who support us every time we do this. Appreciate it. Take care. See you soon.